So stop being an arrogant little brat and wait patiently so that I can give you some good entertainment.
I mean, we have been waiting for like 2 years. What are we supposed to do? Just watch you meditate? Alright, how's everybody doing? It's your boy, Real Lil. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's, keeping up with their sports. But I'm back for another live stream. So before I get into anything, I need you, my fellow YouTubers, my fellow listeners, to hit that bell icon and subscribe to the channel so you can get the latest updates of when I do live streams. Alright, that's very important. It's imperative and indicative that you subscribe to the channel because that's how you gonna get these latest updates. Y'all know how I gets down. Y'all know what I do. I always keep it real. I'm a sports fanatic. I'm crazy when it comes to sports. Like I said, I discuss all sports: football, basketball, collegiate level, boxing. Boxing has a special place in my heart. Ain't nothing like fight night. And on the regular, normally I do live streams at the various fights. 9 times out of 10. It may not be 100% because I might be busy or I might be at somewhere watching a fight, but more than likely, I always do live streams after the fight. And in this case, you have the Thurman versus Acito Lopez fight that just concluded, in which Thurman won by a majority decision. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. All right, it's time to get my thoughts on it, my last reactions that I did with Manny Pacquiao and Broner that seemed to be doing really good numbers-wise. So I'm back at it again, and I'm going to give it to you straightforward. Thurman, from round one, he looked good, round one. All right, round one, he came in, he looked fresh, he looked polished. This is a guy that has been out of the ring for 2 years, ladies and gentlemen. 2 years he's been out of the ring after his last fight concluded with Danny Garcia, in which he won that fight. But he looked fresh and he looked polished, okay? Thurman, he knocked him down. I believe it was the second round. He knocked Lopez down in the second round. Caught him with a left hook, all right, in the second round. And Lopez was saved by the bell, all right? He got saved by the bell. And this is a guy, Lopez, that's very vulnerable, all right? He got knocked out, I believe, 3 times in his career. He's out of 3 or 4, but more than likely 3 times he has got knocked out, including Canelo. Obviously, we don't fault nobody for getting knocked out by Canelo because Canelo is one of the best in the world. So when you get knocked out by Canelo, it's almost like you went the distance with daggone Canelo because it's just Canelo, okay? But yes, this is a guy that's vulnerable. And it showed in the beginning of the fight, right? He got knocked down in the second round and the referee, the bells would saved him, all right? But before I get into anything else, right? Good reflexes, smart, power, that's what Thurman brings to the table, and that's what he looked like tonight. All right, the reflexes. He was moving his legs well in this game, in various parts of the fight. Like I said, he has good reflexes. I believe from watching a couple videos on this cat, I believe he do Musa, whatever. What you call that joint again? Meditation and stuff like that. Very patient. He's a patient guy. As you can see, he practiced that. That's a good tactic to have when you're doing boxing because you do have guys that are impatient and that's how they end up getting knocked out. But before I get into more depth in this fight, if you watch my last live with Broner and Pacquiao, there was one thing that I said during the live about Broner needing to fire everybody in his corner. And there's a reason why I'm bringing that fight up in this fight. All right? You're going to see it. You're going to be like, why this cat? Why you talking about Broner Pacquiao? That's the way. No, you're going to see the correlation that I drew. One thing about me, I think very well. I'm very intellectual. And, I put pieces together unlike anything you have heard before. One thing I would say, as much as I criticize Adrian Broner's corner, as well as I should, they should be fired for lying to this brother, for not giving him the proper adjustments during the fight in the corner, telling him, just move, you're doing fine. No, the brother was losing. Robert Garcia, in this fight for Lopez, he was the total opposite, all right? You could see it in the corner. Lopez was being very honest with, Garcia was being very honest with Lopez, telling him that, you're losing, you got to be more aggressive, and guess what? Acito Lopez listened because, in those middle rounds, he started to catch Thurman, especially in the 7th round, all right, when it looked like Thurman was about to go night-night. All right, but before that, you had Acito Lopez throwing them over overhand loops. I'm just like, yo, what are you doing? Throwing them overhand loops. Do you realize when you throw an overhand loop, you could get knocked out with a loop? With a jab, rather? You can get knocked out when you're doing that. So I didn't know what that was. I'm like, this guy got an ugly style of fighting, trying to do an overhand loop with a guy as fast as Thurman. I could understand if you fighting a guy that don't let his hands go, and I'm referring to Adrian Broner type of cats that don't let their hands go, then okay, you probably could do the overhand loop. But when you got guys that are aggressive, that are smart, that is intellectual like Thurman is, you don't want to do those overhand loops. So Robert Garcia got into Lopez's ear. I don't know what the hell he said to this guy, really in full, but he did something. He said something good because it woke them up. It was like, oh shoot, we at the Barclays Center. There's a fight going on. Oh shoot. Oh, we gotta get out of. And he did what he had to do in the 7th round. I mean, this guy was coming at Thurman, and I was sitting there, and I was just like, yo, Thurman looked like, I didn't think Thurman was go down like that because I knew he wasn't gonna go down like that. Thurman got a lot of heart, but I'm just saying to myself, uh-oh. I mean, this guy was getting left, right. He got hit with a left in his face, right on the chin, right on the button, to the point where I literally, when I saw the replay, that dude was in La La Land. That dude was, I want some breakfast, bacon, eggs, and cheese in the morning. Breakfast, bacon, egg, and cheese in the morning. Can I get some pancakes, please? Yeah. I want some pancakes, T-bone steak. Yes, sir. My favorite rapper is Drake. I make no mistake. Oh, yeah. That's what it looked like. The brother was the brother's eyes. It was, woo! It was crazy. I don't know how the hell he withstood that. How he was able to stand in his feet with his eyes going in opposite directions. You get what I'm saying? But he was able to do that. And he was able to survive that round because, Lopez, what he should have done was, you saw him get tired in that round, because if Lopez had any chance of winning that fight, it was going to be that round. He was going to have to get the knockout because he was already trailing too much. All right, the only thing Lopez could have hoped for was either, when it got to the 7th round, win the rest of the fight. Literally, don't give up no more rounds. Get a couple knockdowns possibly, or get a knockout. That was his only option. And, he wasn't able to get the knockout, which he needed, because he got tired. And Thurman was out for the count. Thurman was knocked out without being on the floor. I mean, if that makes any sense. I'm telling you, when I saw the replay, watch that replay, man. Watch the whole 7th round with the replay. This brother was in La La Land. This brother got knocked out into didn't get knocked out, but he got knocked into another nationality and then came back. I mean, he was knocked out without being on the floor. So Lopez wasn't able to capitalize on it. But that was a round that I gave to Lopez. I didn't think I gave him a round prior to that. I believe it was all Thurman that I gave him 1 through 6. But he won the 7th round. He won the 8th round. People probably thought Thurman won that. I thought Lopez won the 8th round. The 9th round is when both fighters was going at it. They was going at it toe to toe. They was counter punching really well, both of them, Lopez and Thurman, back and forth. And that's a round that I thought was a draw. I wouldn't fault you for giving it to Thurman. I wouldn't fault you for giving it to Lopez. But to be on the safer side, I cheated. I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a tie. Because, look, I am a boxing historian, but guess what? You got some pros out there that know a lot more than I do, and I'm not ashamed to say that, but I do know a lot of boxing. I tell you that right now. I mean, I was brought up before I even knew what the hell boxing was. That boxing match was in front of my face because I was raised up in a sports family. But there's some guys that, they probably know a little bit more than me, which I would attest to. And they probably would have gave it to Thurman or Lopez. I just was like, I'm cheating. I'm giving it a draw right there, round 9. All right? There was this one commentator. I forgot this guy's name. I just know Lennox Lewis because I'm familiar with him. But there was this one other commentator that was like, when Thurman literally blocked the shot, Lopez was swinging sometimes, and you really had to watch it. The guy wasn't landing everything that he was throwing. So there was this one punch where Lopez, threw a right, and the commentator was like, oh, and the guy next to him, the other commentator was like, yo, that was a block. He like, I know, but still. What? What you mean, but still? I mean, the guy blocked the shot. What are you owing for? You owing for the block or the punch? And it looked like he was owing for the punch. But still, the brother got blocked. I don't understand that. You know, I don't understand that. Steve Wilkins, he a referee. You know, that's that, you know, that referee that, you know, I see him in a lot of fights. He was a, you know, he was a referee of this fight. I like that guy. I like that guy. That brother is a fan, just like I am, just like y'all that are listening to his live streams on. He's a referee that's a fan. If you ever watched this guy referee, if you never did, watch this guy. Look up videos. Type in right now, well, after the live, Steve Wilkins, referee. All right, you're going to see a lot of fights in which his brother like, oh, like he got popcorn in his hand almost. He's like, oh. Because that 7th round, when Lopez was coming at Thurman and almost knocked him down, you should have saw his face. The brother's a fan just like me. And I probably would be the same way if I was ever a referee. I'd be like, damn. You know, a fighter get knocked out. You got knocked out, boy. I'll literally be that hype because listen, we boxer fans, we get hype. We black people, we sometimes we loud, we get hype. That's just how it is. But hey, at the end of the day, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. All right. So after the where we at? The 9th round was over. I said it was a draw. 10th round went to Thurman. Everything after the 9th round went to Thurman, in my opinion. I thought Thurman. The 10th round was a little bit closer, a little bit close. I still gave it to Thurman. Round 11, I gave it to Thurman. And round 12, I gave it to Thurman. Now, one thing I would say, I will commend Aceto Lopez. I will commend him because obviously he was a flat underdog in this fight. At least he showed up. At least the brother threw his hands. All right, listen. At least the brother threw his hands. I don't know what the hell I was watching last week with that Broner and Pacquiao fight because Broner wasn't doing nothing. At least his brother threw the hands. You see, Broner got to take some notes. He should have been watching this fight if he wasn't. He should take some daggone notes because everything in this fight was literally what should have happened last week. Number one, the corner that, you know, Robert Garcia, like I told you, who infiltrated Lopez to get it going in the fight, he got it going. The total opposite was in that Broner fight. It was total opposite. He should have fired everybody. All right? Lopez was the underdog, just like Broner was the underdog. Lopez sat there and jabbed and actually made it an interesting fight. I was pretty entertained. Even though it was, I wouldn't say it was lopsided. It wasn't close, but it was good enough for entertainment. I was pretty entertained. I was watching. I wasn't bored like I was last week. So, Broner, you got to take some notes, my guy. Listen, like I said, I like Broner and all that, but you got to take some notes. Because at the end of the day, I might be a fan of you, but at the end of the day, if I'm paying money to see a daggone fight, I want to see a daggone fight. And, you know, this was a pretty good fight, all right? So, shout out to Lopez for, you know, actually making it interesting, all right? This is one judge that I gave it a draw. I believe 117 and 117. I don't know what the hell he was watching. See, this is why I'm convinced. Because there's a lot of judges in boxing that it's just so questionable. Like, do you hire blind judges? I mean, damn. What kind of fight is you watching? All right, like I said, I'm giving Lopez a lot of credit in this fight. But at the same time, it was not no daggone draw. It was pretty definitive. Especially for a person that never watched boxing before in his life. If that was to be the case, then it was pretty definitive for that person. I mean, it was not no draw. So I don't know what the hell these judges be on. I mean, like I said, I low-key, if you watch a couple of my lives, I be thinking these cats be getting something under the rug. Because I don't know what the hell that was. But it wasn't straight robbery because it gave the decision, the majority decision to the guy who perfectly owned it, and that was Keith Thurman. Keith one-time Thurman. I thought he was one time for a second too, because you know it didn't seem like this brother was gonna come back. So he was about to live for his name, one-time Thurman, because he wasn't, you know, I don't know what the hell he was doing in 2 years. But at the same time, as much as we want to sit here, moving past this fight, as much as we want to sit here and criticize Keith one-time Thurman, whatever, for his layoff, for being out for 2 years, I would say this to counter that argument, all right? Because trust me, I was the same way, just like y'all. Trust me, I'm not coming at y'all who think that. I think I was in that same boat, literally, right? I'm like, where this guy gonna come back? I mean, he got the belt at the time. He had the belt at the WBC, in which Sean Porter and Danny Garcia fought for. But we know our bodies more than anybody. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we really do. If the brothers say it's not time for him to come back, it's not time for him to come back. That's just what it is. All right? It's the same thing that reminds me in basketball talking Kawhi Leonard, in which, you know, he had the calf. Listen, I got on the brother, but at the end of the day, my dad on the radio show, my last episode, definitely check that out. He brought up an excellent point. You know, we know our bodies, and at the end of the day, they entertaining us. I mean, even Thurman said it. Even though I didn't think Thurman should have said it that way, because at the end of the day, I thought it came off a little bit disrespectful when he said it in the interview, like, I'm your entertainer. Sometimes you keep stuff like that to yourself, but it is true what he's saying at the same time, and only Thurman knows his body, really. So a lot of us, the brother's back in the ring now. He looked pretty good despite that 7th round. And we just gotta let it go. The brother was out for 2 years. He was out for 2 years. He lost his WBC belt. Sean Porter is walking around with it after a good fight against Danny Garcia, which I still maintain up to this day that should have been a daggone tie. But, it wasn't a tie. So we'll see what happens with Thurman going forward. And Josito Lopez, with this fight, even though he lost, he looks like a pretty decent opponent now. Guys will actually take on that fight. I really didn't expect Keith Thurman to automatically jump back in the ring against Errol Spence or a Sean Porter rematch, because he had a 2-year layoff, and it showed, because he looked like he was tired at one point in this fight, but he got it back together. But now, after this fight is under his rug now, we got to start talking about his potential opponents. Because guess what, brother? You ain't going to be on vacation too longer. You was already on vacation for 2 daggone years, and you're not going to be on vacation for 3. All right? You just got past Lopez. I'm being real here. He fought good, but guess what? I mean, the guy got knocked out 3 times in his career. All right? Now you're done off vacation now. All right? Now it's time to go right to the big dogs now. All right? It's time to get a couple fights in now. All right? He's, a lot of people is criticizing him for not fighting Errol Spence. I think that he's probably scared of Errol Spence too, my daggone self. You got Errol Spence calling him out, saying that he don't want to fight me. And, Thurman is over there brushing it to the side. At the end of the day, if you want to be amongst the top welterweight, you're going to have to fight Errol Spence, because he's the top welterweight. All right? So we'll see. So Thurman right now, he said he want that belt back that he had to give up, that they vacated because of his absence from the ring. So I'm expecting to see a Sean Porter and Thurman rematch too. I know we all want to see Errol Spence and Thurman, right? There's even talks that Thurman want to face Pacquiao. I think that would be an excellent fight. You know why? Because, styles make fights. And I do believe these guys are the same style, kind of. Because Thurman reminds me of Pacquiao in a way. He's not as fast as Pacquiao, but they both let their hands go. So that would be a little tussle right there. But if Thurman versus Porter 2 happened, I would not be mad at all. Because if you saw the first fight between Thurman and Porter, that was an excellent fight. An excellent fight. These guys was going at it. Sean Porter is like a bull. All right, that guy, even though he has an ugly fight scheme at times, he still comes out and he swings. All right? And that was an excellent fight. Part 1, I thought Porter got robbed. I thought Porter won the fight in a close fight. But if that's what Thurman wants to do, is get that Porter rematch going on, then I won't be mad. All right, that'll be an excellent fight for your second fight, being back from a 2-year layoff, okay? So let's get that Porter and Thurman fight rematch going to see if you can get back the belt that you didn't lose, really. You just got vacated. Let's see. And then the winner of that fight should be fighting Errol Spence Jr. All right? That's what I think, literally. So we're going to see what happens. All right? But, ladies and gentlemen, moving past this right now, you got to, boxing is in a good space. All right? Boxing, you got a lot of talent in boxing. You got a lot of, welterweights that are fighting for that #1 spot. You got a lot of heavyweights fighting for that 1 spot. And, I'm going to do a separate live. I want to get more into that Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, and Tyson Fury situation going on. These cats continue to annoy my soul. These Eddie Hearns and Anthony Joshua cats is continuing to really get into me. All right? And I want to get into that in a separate live. But before I sign out, ladies and gentlemen, remember, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you can get the latest updates on when I do live streams, when I post my radio shows also. I got another episode of The Real Lil Show that's supposed to be dropping any day now. All right? Any day now, as soon as I get the video in my possession. This way I could be able to edit it and put it out there to the masses and to my fellow YouTubers. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And, I'll be back in the city, doing what I do, working, networking, and, doing what I do, you know, and that's keep it real. So I want to thank y'all for listening to this live, and have a blessed night to everybody. I want to know your thoughts on the fight. Leave your comments. Who you thought won the fight? Even though I thought it was pretty definitive, but sometimes people have their opinion, and that's what they have. So definitely leave your comments in the comment section below. And one more time, please subscribe to the channel. Have a good night, and your boy Real Lil is signing out. One love.